Hello and welcome to another episode of Golden Nuggets with Silvia Eldawi. And today we're coming to you from Yas Island, Abu Dhabi, with the lovely Kika Pavese, Managing Director of MD Real Estate and founder of Voyage Holiday Homes. Welcome, Kika.
No, welcome Silvia to Abu Dhabi.
It's a rare occurrence. It's a rare occurrence. And actually, the only times I come to Abu Dhabi is to Yas Island for the F1, which happens every November.
Yes.
But yeah, we came. What a view. What an amazing apartment. Well, villa.
Yes, a beach villa, we call it.
Beach villa. So you can see the beach here. I hope you can see it. And
you're coming in a rainy day.
It was a rainy day. It's windy.
This is not Abu Dhabi.
We've got clouds, but you know, ordinarily it's a nice blue setting. For audio listeners, we are in a spectacular beach villa. I actually suggest that you switch over to YouTube to watch this episode because you want to see the setting. Right, Kika, we want to know about you. We want to take it back to the beginning. How you got into real estate.
The reason why I landed in the UAE, I was married to a pilot, cliche, I know. And we were in Portugal and I never felt right to build a future in Portugal. So eventually we discussed and he started applying for companies. He applied for Emirates, Etihad, Qatar. Etihad replied and packed everything and came to the UAE. So when I first arrived, because I had no experience in my education, finding a job wasn't easy. So I landed in real estate. I thought, why not? Let me give it a try.
And what year was that?
This was 2012.
Okay. And it's the same company that you're currently at the helm of.
The same company. I walked in one day.
Started from the bottom, now she's here.
Yes.
Okay. We'll talk about that in a second.
Boutique agency around the corner.
Yeah. So 2012, how easy or difficult was it for you as a woman in Abu Dhabi, nonetheless, not Dubai, to find a role in real estate?
I mean, very young, no experience, and my English was very bad. So I'm Portuguese, speak fluent French, Spanish, Italian, but
not
no
fluent
English. Yes. So mi English no muy bueno.
And I can't imagine that there were that many Spanish clients, but Portuguese clients.
Not even, like even to start in real estate, you have to have some basics. I did have the basics. That's the way we grow up in Portugal. All our movies have subtitles, so you grow up songs. But to get that trigger and actually have a proper conversation, it wasn't the easiest. So I think that was a big struggle there as well, the language and also the country itself. As a woman, young, it's not easy for everyone to open their doors to you. Real estate, thank God, back then and even today had an easier entry. So that's how I was like, okay. And when I got the opportunity, I grabbed it. Okay, let's do this.
What did you want to be when you grew up originally?
I mean, we all have dreams. And I think as a kid, my dream was to be an actress. You know, you're connected with the series and everything. My mom used to be an actress.
Wow. Okay.
So then eventually I decided that, no, I want to be a journalist. And I actually wanted to be a war journalist.
Oh, wow.
While growing up. I wanted to be there. I wanted to help people. I wanted to tell their stories. So that's always what I wanted to be and eventually what I studied to be.
Because you did a degree in, was it social communication?
Yes.
What's that entail?
It's basically the broad of journalism. Then you can choose the path that you want, but it gives you a full picture of all the virtues of journalism.
And then, so you grew up in Portugal.
I didn't grow up in Portugal. My stepdad was an ambassador. So I grew up
all over the world.
Countries and meeting new people, the newbie at school every 4 years. So
switching. Okay.
Yes.
So that must take a lot of adjusting every couple of years. How do you think that affected you as a leader now in real estate? Because you're like one of the most well-known agency leaders in Abu
stop
Dhabi.
it, Silvia.
It's true.
Continue.
And requires some resilience.
Yes.
And how does that transitioning from one place to another?
You know, I always used to think, like, every time I started at a new school, because for me, it's not about the country. Like, I'm there following my parents. And every time I could start at a new school, I thought, oh, I can start again. Like, these people don't know
Fresh
me,
start,
so I can be whoever I want to be. And eventually you fall into being always the same person, a better version of yourself. So I think this helped me into the fact that the amount of people you know, the amount of connections you have to start again and start over, that changes everything. And that's what I apply today. Because you're always meeting people, you're always meeting clients, you're employing new people. And the adaptability that you have to deal with these people and the conversation changes everything. You know, everyone likes to talk about themselves.
Yep. It's a favorite, everyone's favorite subject.
Everyone's favorite subject. But no one really asks about you. And that's where I think that's my biggest, let's say, positive aspect. I always ask about people. My first question, where are you from? What do you do? What brought you here? And when I show genuine interest about people's stories, that's the connection that I have in real estate. And that's, I grew up trying to get to know people so I could fit in in a classroom, in a school. And
so let's talk about when you left university. Because there's a lot of jobs. We all have jobs that don't appear on our LinkedIn profiles. So let's talk about some of the roles you did after you left university.
Well, let's talk about when I started working. So, you know, I always wanted to work. I knew it was in me. I was never the party teenager of that. Of course, I had my parties and everything, but I like that sense of responsibility.
Okay.
And I think that's why I also wanted to be a mother very early. So that responsibility, I need to carry it. So I started working, I was about 15 years old. It was summer, and I found a job at the zoo in Portugal. And it was like not very well paid. It was like a summer job. And my job was to not allow people to touch the glass of where the dolphin pool is. And that was
that's
like
the favorite part, touching the glass. And
touching the glass. I can't allow, that was my job actually.
Okay.
And you know, you have an audience of people, and in summer it was full. And I was like, how can I make this more interesting? So in the break time of the show, of the dolphin show, I used to put people dancing and doing the wave, all of that. So that's immediately the guys from the dolphin team, I catch their attention, and they invited me to go to their team. So that was my first job as with the sea lions, with the dolphins.
Amazing.
And so that was when I was like, yeah, I love this.
Yeah. And then you were also
and then when I
aviation.
When I started university, at the same time, my dad pushed me into the aviation world. He said, you need to have the experience, travel, that bigger responsibility of a job. So I started working as a cabin crew. I did the course, I was 17 years old when I finished, and I was officially an adult. That's when I started flying. I was the youngest in the company back then.
Amazing.
To start that job.
Because actually that was quite a common theme during COVID time, when a lot of cabin crew got laid off. A lot of them transitioned into real estate. So you were like one of the first back in, well, you didn't transition into real estate. You were cabin crew.
Yes.
Originally, way back.
Way back. And that I employed a lot of people that got laid off.
Cabin crew. And you worked your way up in the company.
I worked my way up. See, the first month I realized that I don't want to be an agent. I want to be a leader. I want to take this company to another level.
Wow, she didn't even give it 6 months to make that decision.
I just wanted it so badly. But I knew that in order to reach that level, you have to learn.
You had to experience the life of being an agent.
And even you have to know the processes. You have to know what happens. I knew what my end goal was. And I knew it needed time. but I had the goal always.
And so was it kind of more ambition rather than not really enjoying the role of a real estate agent, or a mixture of the two?
I enjoyed it so much that I wanted to get more people into it.
Okay.
So I love the job of an agent, trust me. But I love more bringing people and making them superstars. So you have to balance. I still do the job. But
you're still brokering, still doing your own deals?
Not really, not that much, but I still do the job. Like when I'm advising people, when I'm training our staff and our employees and the new joiners, I'm already doing it.
And you are like one of the ambassadors for Abu Dhabi, I'd say. You know, you're always saying, come to Abu Dhabi, come to Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
Let's talk about the differences between Dubai and Abu Dhabi, because there's maybe some misconceptions or perceptions of Abu Dhabi. I certainly have mine, and I kind of feel like Dubai is a bit more playgroundish. Abu Dhabi is a bit more serious and reserved. Maybe slightly more modest.
I like that.
How would you compare the two? Humble, yes.
Yes. So, I mean, we don't want to. I think they're two completely different markets, and you just need to understand that's Dubai. This is Abu Dhabi. When people say you're the ambassador of Abu Dhabi, I mean, it brings so much joy to my heart, because I truly love this emirate. I love everything about it. The slow growth that we had. You're so respected in Abu Dhabi, and it's so conservative, yes, in comparison to Dubai. I remember going to Dubai and going to Dubai Mall, or the Dubai Mall as it is now, and seeing people wearing shorts at the mall. And I was like, oh, we don't have that in Abu Dhabi.
We don't do that in Abu Dhabi. Yeah.
Today you see it, you already see it. But when I first came, it was like we couldn't go into the mall without having our shoulders covered and so on. And I did like it, you know, that kind of difference when you come and you feel, even you, like you are in Abu Dhabi, like today.
How
do you feel?
You feel the difference. You feel a bit more, I don't want to say the
grown
word
up.
Grown up.
Yes.
It feels a bit more grown up. Conservative. It's not on top of each other. I feel like it's very spread out.
It's more family oriented, I would say.
Mature,
yes.
Not flashy at all, which we're used to in Dubai. And I
in Abu Dhabi, you don't need to flash.
That's the impression I get is kind of there's a lot of wealthy people. Okay, let's say high net worth in Dubai, but the ultra high net worth are in Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
But they're not showing off.
You don't need to.
You don't need to?
No.
Because?
When you know, you know.
Whoa. So it's kind of like quiet luxury.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I think that's also, like we said, humble. You don't need to show off to reach anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about, and I say as a woman in this industry, when I go to these big meetings with big entities, it's all about respect, the way you present yourself, the way you come, and you're speaking with high people.
Yeah.
And the fact that you are so understanding of the culture of the emirate that you are, and the way you position yourself, the meeting is done. You know, the respect, there is a lot of respect behind Abu Dhabi. That's how I see it.
And I think in general, there's a misconception in the Middle East or of this region that women aren't really, you know, treated well or whatever. But actually, there's a real drive in the UAE to get more women in leadership.
True.
And, you know, that's part of the vision, that we need to be up there in the boardrooms. How did you, because you started at MD, you were there for like
years.
Then you took a year out and went to a corporate.
Yes.
And then you came back.
Correct.
To run the show.
Yes.
Okay. How did that happen?
I mean, I was already a general manager of MD. I got the role in 2016. And then in 2018, I was approached by a corporate company to go and manage their portfolio. It was a big name. It was it was an incredible opportunity. So I went to the owner of MD, told him about the opportunity, and he said, you know, I had reached a level that what's next?
You'd reach the ceiling. Yeah.
And when I got that in front of me, I was like, oof, that's... So I saw it as a big jump. That's why I was like, I cannot say no. Big portfolio, big team, a big name in the market. That's when my career will go to the roof. So I had to take that decision to go.
What was his reaction when you resigned?
We were having dinner. He had about 7 whiskeys.
Wait, did you set it up so that you're like, let's go for dinner?
I mean, we are friends, and we've been friends since then. And so it was we always had this. Every now and then we would go for dinner, talk about everything. So I don't think he saw it coming.
So 7 whiskeys in.
Yes, he did say to me, I would never stop you, and you do need to grow, but in 1 year you'll be back.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, poor guy. He knows nothing. In my head, I was like, no way. But I was like, okay, of course, no problem. If that's what you want to believe, then, you know, this is a breakup.
Not just a separation.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because actually I did the same thing. When you're with a company for so long, you cannot just shoot a resignation email. No. Especially if you've got such a good relationship with your leaders. You've got to have that conversation face to face.
And especially and this is another thing about the Arab world. It's all about respect. And I've, you know, when you have people resigning on you and leaving, the difference between Arabs doing and another nationality doing is like
a stark difference.
Complete. And
give me some examples.
This morning.
Oh, you had a resignation?
Yes, I got a resignation this morning. And a Lebanese girl, and she came to me, she said, I can't just send you a message or an email. Like, it means a lot what happens, like she stayed with us 3 years. And it was such an amazing time that you deserve that time to come and tell you that it's time for me to go and try different things.
There's nothing worse than getting that email, resignation, and you're like, resignation, who from? Is it a forward? Is it, you know?
My heart stops.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a story.
And it's always on a Friday. Why is that?
I don't know. They want to have a nice weekend and celebrate. I don't know, not sure. But my HR manager, twice now, the last time I told her, like, you need to stop.
She forwards you the resignation.
She sends me the document to sign, and it's a through DocuSign. She puts redesignation. So it's when we promote someone. Redesignation, and my eyes said resignation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? No. But I was like, stop, just call it promotion, and give it another name.
I remember when I was, when I first started managing teams, like way back when, I would get so emotional and so offended. At the resignation.
Yes.
Like, why you don't want to work for me anymore? But now I'm like, oh, sounds cool. Where are you going to? Or what's the opportunity? Because you have to encourage.
You grow thick skin on that.
You really do.
You know, when you've been through that, like me, and then I came back, if I close it in a nice way, if I leave my doors open, and if that person did contribute for the company, I want that person to feel that you can have a second chance.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. There's a lot of bridge burning that goes on, especially in the real estate industry, where as people leave a company, they start taking contacts, they start taking staff, poaching.
If that happens,
then you've burnt the bridges.
Yes.
Yeah. So don't do that.
You don't want to burn bridges with me.
Be the Abu Dhabi of resignations.
Yes.
Leave classy.
Yes.
Leave the door open.
Yes. Yeah. Always. That says everything about you. So, and I had that. People leaving and then lying and saying that I'm going to go back home, and then eventually find out they're working. I thought you were going back home. And that for me, that's a complete break of the bridge. Not trust even. Like you don't really need to have the trust, but the bridge is broken immediately. So,
okay. So you moved to the corporate. Was the grass greener?
The grass wasn't... See, I wouldn't call it the grass greener because there were two opposites.
Fields.
Completely. So it was like, I needed to go, I needed to try and to see that it was not for me. Just because when you work in corporate, and I'm sure so many people identify with this, it's corporate. So you don't run the show. And I was born to run the show.
But you see the kind of, you think corporate, oh my God, it's going to be so organized. There's going to be so many more opportunities. It's going to be
exposure, name.
Yeah.
Even we can talk about the money that is behind corporate entities. Like you can do anything. Like when we have our companies, we're always playing around with budgets and making sure that we never go up.
Yeah.
With corporate, like you don't have that problem. Let me get that PropertyFinder contract and not worry about it. So that's how I saw it. Like having a big pot to manage, but eventually you can't fully run the show. And I do believe, like I said, I was born to run the show. So.
And then you were given the opportunity to run the show because you didn't burn the bridges.
Yes. So we kept in contact, and because I was doing something completely opposite. And I remember one of the girls that I employed back then, she was leaving. And he called me and said, oh, we're doing the farewell party. She's going back to Australia. Would you like to join?
That's sweet.
I was like, okay. Like I did employ her. So I went there, and he said to me, if you get in MD's office today and you swipe your finger on the table, it's full of dust since the day you left. Aww. He's Arab at the end of the day. He knows how to say sweet talk. Yeah. So I was like, okay. It's like, come back. We need you. We've tried managers and this and that, doesn't work. I said, okay, let me think about it. Because now, a year in a company is not a long time. Said, okay, let me think about it. Went home and I knew exactly that there was nothing to think about it. And I said, I'll come, but then I'll have to run the show.
Yeah.
And he's like, my eyes. So
did someone have to get fired for you to run the show, or did he kind of step away from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Whoops. Okay. And any regrets?
Regrets in my UAE life?
UAE life, personal life?
As a real estate, I can tell you my biggest regret was not to buy a property earlier. It took me a while.
I think that's everyone's.
Maybe not to get a divorce earlier. Can cut? No, can keep it? Don't. I don't know.
No, let's keep it. Okay. So not buying property earlier, not divorcing earlier.
Yes.
And you are a mom of two.
Yes.
You moved here.
Married.
Foreign married.
I didn't move with $200 on my pocket, as many of the Dubai stories say.
I did
move with a comfortable life.
But she moved with 2 kids and a pilot husband.
I didn't have the kids back then, but yeah.
And you went through a divorce while you were here. Okay. Now, happily engaged to Billy.
Found love again.
But you delayed. And, as women, I think we do tend to delay things, big decisions like purchasing, like divorcing. What's your advice? Like, would you tell your daughter to buy now in this current market?
In my daughter's head, she's already taking over MD. So 100% she would, I would advise her, of course. And this is something we speak about. I love having dinner with the kids at table every night. We talk about our day. My kids always ask me, what did you do? Where did you go? What was the meeting about?
Yeah.
So they are prepared for that. And I'm teaching them that's the future. Real estate is the safest investment.
Yeah.
So,
and there's that saying that when someone says, when's the best time to buy? The answer is always yesterday.
Yes.
Right.
True.
But is it today?
Seriously?
Yeah.
You're asking me if it's the right time to buy?
Right now, prices are through the roof, interest rates through the roof.
You're so a Dubai mindset. You have to come to Abu Dhabi, girl. Like, no. You're looking at a market that is growing. You're looking at okay, if you could have bought a property, let's say 30 years ago in your hometown, what would be the value of that property today?
10x. Yeah.
You have the opportunity to do the same here. And when I'm speaking with a client and I can offer him off-plan long-term, off-plan middle-term, or a ready property, the options are there. You're either part of it or you just let the train pass.
Yeah. and you just stay a renter all your life. I feel like the next generation are going to be renters rather than owners. They like that kind of,
That's because they're not educated properly. You should always be an owner. Always. The real estate market is not going anywhere. People say AI will take over this, will take over that. No one is taking over the real estate market.
Indeed.
One of my sales directors always says, buying yesterday is better than buying today. Buying today is better than buying tomorrow. So we have to keep that in mind. Plus, look at everything the UAE's government is doing for us. A tax-free country, the safety we have. Like, there is no price for that. And as a mother of 2 kids, definitely, this is where I want to build my portfolio. This is where I want them to grow. Like, I'm at work all day, and I do work lots and lots of hours. And they come back from school, and I know I'm in a complete peace of mind. I know where they are, and I know that nothing's going to happen. Yeah.
When I go to London, and I'm sure you feel the same when you go home, like, I'm not taking my watches, my earrings, even
you forget
clothes. They're now starting to take jackets off your back. Like, people are starting to rob people for jackets. It's got that bad. Like North Face and Canada Goose. You just, it's one thing that you take for granted, but yeah, safety.
When you go to the supermarket back home and you leave your bag in the trolley, and then you go and start looking for other stuff, and then you completely forget. And people come like, what are you doing? Like, you don't leave your bag unattended like that. And okay.
But there's this trend on TikTok and Instagram with everyone like, I'm going to leave my car keys here, and I'll come back to it in half an hour's time. Right? You know that trend?
I haven't seen that.
You've seen it for sure, where people leave their car keys or their laptop somewhere, and they come back to it half an hour later, and they're like, oh, only in Dubai or only in Abu Dhabi. But it's like, I feel like, can we stop doing that, please? Because the criminals are going to come, and everyone's leaving their laptops and car keys out in Dubai, so we might attract the wrong kind of people. So is it the safety, because, if you came out here as a married woman, once you got divorced or were getting a divorce, was it the safety and raising your children here that kept you here after your divorce? Or
100%.
Because usually people would just go back home.
Which did cross my mind. I mean, going back home is the easy solution, right? Also, getting a divorce in the UAE, I think there is a massive misconception, like how will a divorced woman be seen, perceived with 2 kids?
Scarlet.
Yes. So all of these concerns were in my mind. And a big concern as well is, can I make it alone? And it was scary. And I think that was as well what delayed a bit the decision. But I didn't want to go anywhere. The kids were the main drive. The kids were the main drive.
So you thought you couldn't make it as a single mom?
I was scared I couldn't make it. But the fact that I was in the UAE, the fact that I was very comfortable and successful to a certain point in the industry, I thought, why not? Like, what am I going to do back home? Like, I have to start it all over when I can just continue. And I did go back to the owner of MD, and he said, just make more money. And he said, you're in the perfect field. Just make more money, Kika, and you will do all right. And that's exactly what I did. Took the decision, let's go for it. And I just had to make more money. And that's when the big jump of MD happened. When COVID hit and everything. When COVID hit, when everyone was firing, I was hiring, changing logos, hired a new marketing manager that today heads the full marketing department. We changed everything. We moved offices, and it kind of gave me the time to think and the freedom to grow. So it had a massive positive impact on me. It
was a scary time. It was a very scary time. And I think a lot of decisions that were made by the leaders in the industry during that time have now shaped what the industry is today. And you're definitely one of those
it
leaders.
gives me goosebumps when you say that. It was.
But I haven't heard of anyone hiring. I mean, not for the first couple of months, like March to June.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah? Okay. Because everyone was like halving salaries and stuff. What decisions did you make at that time? You decided to rebrand and everything?
So
you saw the light at the end of the tunnel?
I didn't. I didn't. I just thought this is going to end.
Yeah.
So, you know, your day is so full with so many things and meetings and this and that. COVID was quiet. So what do you do when you have time to think? You act. So I didn't want to be bored and on those Zoom meetings with so many people and trying to find what we're going to do, how we can break our contracts with the portals. For me, that was like, I don't want to be involved in that negativity.
Yeah.
So that's when I decided, let's change. Let's get out of this with a new name, not name, a new logo, new colors, new people. So that's when and I thought, that's when I understood the importance of marketing, because people would spend so much time on their phones and online. So that's when I decided that I needed to go heavy on marketing and I needed the right person for it. And that's when I hired, that was the biggest hire I made during COVID, was the marketing manager that aligned her vision with me and said, okay, let's do this.
Another cool thing, and you mentioned, you know, breaking up with the portal. So another cool thing that came out of COVID was actually, you know, all the agency leaders came together at one point. I can tell this story, but, you know.
You can.
The prices, you know, when everyone was in a difficult phase, the prices were going up. And everyone was kind of revolting against the portals. So we all ended up in WhatsApp groups that had, and that's how, you know, we're in the Women in, you know, what's it called? Women in Real Estate group. It's like small gathering of 15 or so agency owner leaders, females. But that's how a lot of WhatsApp groups then became, came into existence, where there is conversations that go on between the leaders. So everyone might have this perception that, you know, everyone's doing their own thing, but the leaders of the industry have to come together. And there's a lot of conversations going on right now about cold calling and fines and what's the hot topics? The QR codes on there's a lot of fining going on.
I mean, I'm always the quiet one on those groups because I'm the only Abu Dhabi one.
Yeah.
On your Dubai groups, I'm always learning. I read everything. Oh, that's they're doing, because I know it eventually will kick in Abu Dhabi. So I'm like one step ahead. So those groups that we have, and this is real estate, understanding that the most powerful relationships come from the owners of your competitors. I have it in Abu Dhabi. We have a small group of leaders that we sit every quarter. We have dinner. We talk about the market. I think that's so important. And we did come together during COVID.
Yeah.
And I think COVID united us because we didn't have that before.
No, absolutely not. It was everyone, each to their own, but then we all came together with a common cause and, you know, remained friends in the group and just updating each other. And we're going for dinner next week.
Yes.
We're going to try and drag you to Dubai.
Yes. No one comes to Abu Dhabi. I have to.
We'll definitely do one in Abu Dhabi. Maybe, you know,
why not? A private event in Mayan Beach Villa.
Lovely. Yeah. Okay. Awards. You've won quite a few. This year, it was end of last year. Women in Leadership Award.
2 years in a row, Silvia, please.
Oh, gosh. How, why, when?
You know, I always, I look at the awards as a recognition. Yeah. So when the awards time comes, I get nervous. Yeah. I want to be recognized. Dubai is different. In Abu Dhabi, as a woman, being recognized it means a lot.
Yeah.
And when I got the award 2 years ago of Women in Leadership, I was over the moon. That year, I also got the best company. So this year, I was like, okay, I got it last year. I'm not going to get it again. But if I look around, like, there is no competition. So that recognition, reaffirming such an intense year that we had, because I believe we all aligned. It was a very, very hard, intense 2023. So when you get it, you're like, yeah, I did it, you know. But I always say, and it's important to mention, I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have a good team. I do, and I make sure they know this, and I always mention it, because it's not, my success is their success. Yeah. They drive me. If I'm surrounded by the right people, they are the ones putting me there.
They're the ones that inspire you, or do you have another inspiration?
Definitely, they are the ones that inspire me. They inspire me to want to be better, and I feel that I inspire them, which inspires me. And we're always fighting and discussions and this and no. Like, marketing plays a big role in our company, and she's so annoying. Like, she's always like, I disagree, and like, and we're like trying to get everything out of each other. But eventually the outcome is unbelievable. And I love that. And without this, I wouldn't have gotten any of the awards.
Because people think like sales and marketing are two separate divisions or two separate departments. Sales and marketing is one thing. Yes. You cannot have one without the other, and the other one will fail without the other.
You need definitely if I have fights, I would not tell you about the fights the marketing department has with the sales department. It goes wild, but that's so healthy. We depend a lot on marketing as sales, and sales depends on marketing. So it's one department at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And what are you doing kind of marketing wise, social media wise? What's your advice or strategy for real estate agents in Abu Dhabi or Dubai?
Well, Dubai, I think Dubai found their own identity.
Because not everybody can get on $1 Million Listing, Kika. Episodes
no, I
2,
had
3,
a
and
small part on $1 Million Listing. It wasn't that.
No, I saw you several times.
No.
The star of the show. Okay, go on.
No, it was a very good experience, by the way.
Yeah?
That made me realize it's not really
For
my
everyone.
cup of tea.
Okay.
But I like more the raw, the real estate side of it. So Dubai has an identity of these brokers that are outside, you know, we've seen it all. I like the other approach. I like the approach of knowledge, the emotional approach. And this is very aligned with our marketing. The vision is the emotional marketing. It's not about selling the property.
Yeah.
We sell Abu Dhabi. We sell the process of Abu Dhabi. We sell the people that work with us. It's especially off-plan. We all have access to off-plan. It's about buying with us.
Choosing you.
Choosing
rather
us.
Than, choosing
the knowledge, the time we have with you. Even this morning, I had a client in the office. He said, I've talked with so many people and everyone is trying to sell something, and I receive all these messages. I'm tired. I'm not ready. And when I say I'm not ready because he needs to sell his house in UK, they drop him. They're like, don't worry. Come.
We got you.
I have a tenant. He's been my tenant when I was a leasing agent. Every year, renewal time, he messages me. Kika, I think I'm ready to buy. He never buys.
And he never buys.
It's been, I don't know how many years.
But you know one day he will buy, and he will buy through you.
Even if he doesn't, he needs my advice. He needs that pep talk, and I do it every single year. One day maybe, but
no pressure on him.
Pressure. No pressure, Costas. And this is Abu Dhabi, the growth of this beautiful emirate. You're here today. Look at your view, the nature. That's what I sell when I speak about Abu Dhabi.
She loves Abu Dhabi.
She loves Abu Dhabi.
She might convince me to love Abu Dhabi too.
For sure.
Okay. Now let's talk about you present time now. Do you have, like, you know, a lot of leaders have like, I'm a 5 a.m. club, or what's your secret sauce? What's your kind of daily routines or any special rituals that you have?
I used to be the 4 a.m. club, actually.
Wow.
back in the days.
Is that when the babies were keeping you up?
No, not at all.
You did it on purpose?
It was actually just after the divorce. I used to run every morning, and I am an early bird. I like to wake up early. I like to go to bed early. And I have a very strong Arab team, and they always make fun of me because when I'm going to bed, they're starting their day.
The evening, yeah.
But I can adapt. So I can get up really early and go to bed really early. But if I need to stay late, then I will as well. So there's no really routine. Life is so fast.
Yeah.
The day passes I don't know how it's Friday already.
Yeah.
And if I could tell you everything I did this week, I would. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, you're so good. How did you do that?
And are you like a to-do list person, or how do you stay on top of everything?
Good question. It's, I do have a very good memory. So that helps. I have a notebook, paper, sorry, sustainability, I know, shouldn't say that. Where I always write what's next. Lots of pages all over, so I'm quite visual. I'm not organized on paper, but it's there. Yeah. So I don't think well, everyone says that I need a personal assistant, so I might get that in soon.
Okay.
It's coming to the level.
It's coming to the stage where you need a PA. And what kind of mentor are you?
Oh, that's a good question.
How would they describe you? I feel you're very, very organized.
Yes, I am very organized.
And always very positive.
Yes.
I've never seen you lose your...
Beep.
Yeah.
Kind of mentor I am. I think, when I told you about getting to know people, that's the mentor I am. I need to understand people, and when I know them, then I can help them.
And this is the journalist in you, effectively. Yeah.
Probably. And I always have a solution as well. For me, there's never a problem. When people come to me and it's the end of the world, and I speak in a way that, okay, and everything, I have that skill. It's also a mom's skill, to make it easier. And when someone tells me something, it stays with me. And I think that trust that people can have and tell me anything, that plays a huge factor. As a mentor, I lead by example. So first to arrive, very hardworking, and then you can't fall back into that. The way I dress, I wear heels every day to the office. It's painful, and you know that. Yeah. But you will never see me wearing flats if it's not Friday, or if I don't have a side viewing that I...
But it changes the way you behave, the way you speak to people.
The way you stand.
People don't understand. Heels are everything.
And that's the perception people have, and they cannot go lower than that. And I truly compensate those that work hard. So I've lost my mind a couple of times with those that are lazy. I don't like laziness. Yeah. And if you deliver, and if you work hard, and if you bring good, creative, innovative ideas to the table, you will just stay on my books and grow there. That's the kind of mentor I think I am. Some people say I'm scary.
No.
They do. Can you believe that?
No, I
How?
cannot. And interestingly, actually, so you've got, of course, you look at sales performance, you've got your agents, everyone has their deliverable. Apart from sales figures, what are the most important KPIs for you? So what else are you looking at apart from results?
Work hard. You can have an agent, let's talk about real estate. You can have an agent that tries everything and it still doesn't convert into big numbers. Yeah. Just the fact that you see how hard that person tries, and when they come to you with questions. Yeah. And that's for me, if you work hard, eventually you will get it. Maybe you're not doing the right thing. Maybe you're not in the right position. Maybe we need to adapt here and there. But if you work hard, then everything will happen. The flow will come.
And they say, like, you know, it's mindset as well, being positive. Are you into all of that spiritual
I am.
stuff?
Yeah, you know I am. Yes. Being positive changes everything. And I always said, especially, you know, when the war hit, and because I have a strong Arab team, I went down and I said, guys, I know it's hard, and I know your mind is probably busy with something else, but life doesn't stop. And let's try and keep the other side, look at the other side, because this side is what your families need today.
Yeah.
So that kind of give them that push they needed. You know, even I have bad days, and sometimes every time I'm about to walk in the office and I had a bad night or things are not as I want them to
Just
be,
have to leave it at the door.
breathe in, put a smile, and give the biggest good morning. Not I won't, because I'm the first one to arrive, but then it's like, you know,
As they start
coming, how are you? Good morning, bonjour, sabaho, you know. So you have to have that positivity with your team. Otherwise, everyone, if you're down, they're down.
Yeah.
It's like your kids.
You. Yeah.
If you're in a bad mood, your kids will be in a bad mood. It's the same with the company.
Your company, absolutely. And let's take it to the future. Let's get some predictions from you. What do you see the future state of brokerage, of the industry, of Abu Dhabi? What are your predictions?
We're seeing beautiful years in Abu Dhabi. Everything that is happening and how we're growing. We are expanding. We're moving offices. We're making some big changes this year.
Are you coming to Dubai?
Stay tuned. Maybe.
Okay. You heard it here first. The exclusive.
I see, you know, I don't see this ending anytime soon. So when you say, like, when you're in an interview, you're like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't see this ending anytime soon. So we are in the right time, right place. We just need to continue growing. Like, we cannot stop. It happens a lot in the market. You see these companies that have been for a long time, that's
they
it.
take the foot off the gas. And
Yes, we are full speed, getting all the speed fines we can. That's where we are at.
Yeah. And I want to talk about women in real estate as well, or like touch on it, because you are a role model for a lot of women in real estate. If you were talking to someone who's out of the industry now or thinking about getting into real estate, what would your advice to them be? Because you've been through it all.
Just come.
Just come.
I think, you know, we talk about having more women and all of that, but there is only one person that can do that. It's yourself. And it's enough of complaining, enough of saying, and like, yes, we're here, we're fighting, and we're calling them, come and do it, but they have to. Yes, it's a hard industry to be a woman and all of that, but it's not. You actually
we do get
have
benefit,
more advantages.
Yes, let's talk about those advantages that we have. Let's lay them out on the table.
Like, there's no way a man gets angry at a woman. So
buying a property, it's a high intensity emotional.
For a woman.
No, for anybody to do.
True.
So you could end up on the receiving end of a lot of abuse or, you know, verbal abuse, but it's very difficult to be angry at a woman, especially for a man, you know, to kind of start yelling at a woman the same way he would a male agent, right? That's one advantage.
That's a big advantage. For sure. You have more advantages than disadvantages when being a woman in real estate. So just use it. It's like a superpower. Yeah. That's how I see it.
It's your superpower.
It's my superpower.
And what about leadership? Because I see that there's a lot of female real estate agents. I think there's more. Do you think there's more men than women, or women
in Dubai? Maybe more women. Here, more men.
Okay, but at top management level, it's like 2% or something.
True.
So how do we get more women in leadership?
They have to fight for it. They have to claim that role.
And it's not a case of like, you know, women empowerment and women supporting each other. It's more...
You have so many companies with open mindsets, and you can even start your own company. You don't really see many women here doing it. Why not? So like I said, it starts in you. You have to do it. No one is going to do it for you. We can all fight about women empowerment and do
it's
these
not going to get handed to you on
it. Of course not. Like everything, you don't just land in the job, and you have to go for it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then of course, like,
things are going to pass you by.
of course. We all know Cecilia from Aldar, which I'm a big fan, and I really admire everything that woman did to bring the Aldar brand to expose what Abu Dhabi is. And she played a very important role.
All right. So my kind of theme is, or what I'm doing on a daily basis, is helping people get started, get noticed, get results, and get referred. That's my 4 things. So I just wanted to get your words of wisdom on each one.
Okay.
So words of wisdom for someone who wants to get started.
Get started
in real estate.
As the job as a property consultant, just go. You know, do a couple of interviews, or even like a lot of interviews. Listen to, when people go to an interview, they try to sell themselves. Let the company sell to you as well. Try to understand what would be the best fit, because we all do the same, but in a very different way.
Absolutely.
So that would be the advice to those starting in real estate. But do the step and go. No real estate company will not interview you.
Right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
For those that want to get a higher position, if you are already in real estate, do it. Start. You have to start. And don't be afraid. I mean, there's 2 options. Either you succeed or you don't.
Or you don't. What's the worst that could happen?
Exactly.
Okay.
So,
and your words of wisdom for getting noticed.
For getting noticed, it's about the reputation you build. Of course, social media, marketing and everything, it's so important. I think people need to connect more with knowledge than they do with those chana videos and all of that. So try to bring more to the knowledge side. And it's word of mouth. You will get noticed by the reputation that you have. So I said this today. It takes years to build a good reputation. It takes 1 day to destroy it.
Absolutely.
So maintain it.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Get results.
To get results is work hard.
Okay.
And sometimes what you're doing, you're working hard and everything, but what you're doing might not be what you're made to do.
Yeah.
So try another thing. And real estate does offer
so many different roles.
So many different roles.
Yeah.
And we had that in the company where this consultant was really trying hard. And I said, why don't we put him in leasing? And they're like, okay. And now it's succeeding. So that's it. When it comes to getting results, you can work really hard, but sometimes what you're doing is not working. And you have to, I'll give you an example. We had this consultant that really hardworking, first to arrive, does everything by the book like he should, but it's just not converting. So what's wrong? And we've shifted him into leasing and now he's performing. So that's like the good thing about real estate. There's so many fields that you can try. Property management, commercial leasing, commercial sales, short-term leasing. So many things you can try before you give up.
And that's what tends to happen. People just think, oh, I'm no good at secondary sales, exit the industry altogether. And we lose a lot of good people as a result of that. But we should encourage the exploration of all the different avenues. So if it's not quite, if it's not dropping for you in your current role, perhaps explore, like you said, other avenues.
There is a massive lack of good commercial consultants in Dubai and in Abu Dhabi. So there is...
And bonus, you probably will only work Monday to Friday in commercial, right? Because nobody's viewing on the weekend. So if you want to get your weekends back, go into commercial.
Yes, the commercial tenants and buyers, they...
9 to 6, Monday to Friday.
Bonus tip. Commercial agents, we need you.
And lastly, how to get referred.
I think that's what I told you about, the reputation that you build. It's still today, my leasing clients, they're still referring me, they're still calling me. It's all about the name you build in the market. It's so, so important. And it's not sustainable if you don't have it. You won't be able to say that I've been in this industry for X amount of years if you act not in a good way, like many do.
Yes. Behave, everybody. Okay.
We're watching you.
Well, that's it for us. Any closing remarks or anything you want to?
No, I think it's important to say that what you're doing is very admirable as well.
Oh, thank you.
No, it is. And like, I know your story, and I know you're a very good example of do it, doesn't work, move on.
Yeah.
And when you started this, I was hooked immediately.
Oh, thank you.
I was like, when are you coming to Abu Dhabi?
I'm here now. It only took me 6 months.
Yes. So congratulations to you.
Thank
it's beautiful
you.
what
Thank
you're
you.
doing.
And it's similar to you, I guess, is we didn't have, there's nobody doing this before me. So I literally have to carve my way through this new niche. And I'm just doing it. If it works, it works.
It's working.
It doesn't work, we change direction, whatever it may be. But, carve your own path. Because nobody's going to come and do it for you, right?
Exactly. I think that's the biggest lesson we got today.
Yeah. You're a true inspiration, Kika. Thank you so much for inviting us up to this beautiful villa with this beautiful, the sun's still not,
Golf view and beach, and that's Abu Dhabi, all in one.
I'll come back more often. Thank you very much. That's it for today. Love it if you could like, share, and subscribe, and join us next week. Thank you, Kika. Right.